Hey guys, welcome back to One Stop Biology. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about plant-water relations. So let me remind you that we have reached, plant physiology and in class 11th NCERT, and we are right now, studying the chapter Transport in Plants. And in the last video, guys, we basically discussed what are the different means of transport in plants, as in like what are the short distance transport medium, where we discuss diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport, right? So today we'll see what exactly the plant water relation is. So guys, we know that water is essential for all physiological activities of the plant, and it plays a very important role in all living organisms, basically, right? Any living organism cannot survive without water, right? So basically it provides the medium, right? So water provides the medium in which most of the substance dissolve, right? And that is why we say that protoplasm of the cell is nothing but water, right? So basically, in protoplasm, almost all the substance dissolve, right? All the different molecules are dissolved, or there are certain particles which are suspended in the protoplasm, right? So it's basically what it is, water itself, right? Now, distribution of this water within a plant varies, right? So basically, the woody part of the plant will have less water relatively, right? And the soft parts, they contain more water. In the similar way, remember that a seed may appear dry, but it still has water, right? Because without water, it would not be alive and respiring, right? So basically, in the same way, you can say that watermelon, the fruit watermelon has 92% water, but on the other hand, herbaceous plants just have 10 to 15% water. So, guys, these terrestrial plants, all of the terrestrial plants, they take up huge amount of water daily, and most of it is lost in the air. So, basically, through evaporation, this water gets lost to the air, and it this evaporation happens from the leaves. So this process of loss of air through evaporation from the leaves is known as transpiration. Remember, it is known as transpiration, right? Now, a mature, say for example, a mature corn plant, right? A mature corn plant absorbs almost 3 liters of water in a day, while a mustard plant absorbs equal to its own weight in about 5 hours, right? So because of this high demand of water, basically what we are saying is that water is often a limiting factor for plant growth and productivity, right? So let's see what exactly is the water potential. Okay, so basically, guys, it is denoted by this, and it is a concept, right? So basically it is a concept fundamental to understand water movement. Basically we want to understand the movement of water. So now this water potential has two main components. The first one is solute potential, and the second one is pressure potential. Okay, so solute potential is, and pressure potential is this, right? Now, guys, remember that water molecules possess kinetic energy, right? And in its liquid and gaseous form, they basically move in random motion. So basically, they move very rapidly, but in constant motion, right? So the greater the concentration of water in a system, the greater will be its kinetic energy and water potential. So remember, greater, the symbol I'll be using is will be for greater. So greater will be the concentration of water, greater will be the kinetic energy and water potential. Okay, so say that pure water will have the greatest water potential, right? Now, if say two systems containing water are in contact, okay, say if two systems containing water are in contact, there'll be random movement of water molecules, and this will result in net movement of water molecule from the system where the energy is higher to the system where the energy is lower, right? So basically, water will move from the system containing water at high water potential to the one having lower water potential. I hope you are getting it, right? So basically, this process of movement of substance down the gradient of free energy. So basically, water is moving from high energy, high kinetic energy to lower kinetic energy. This is what we call as diffusion, right? Now, water potential is basically denoted by the symbol psi. So this is the symbol of psi, and the pressure units, which is Pascal, right? Now, all solutions, remember guys, all solutions have a lower water potential than pure water. For pure water, it will be what? It will be zero. Okay, so magnitude of this lowering due to the dissolution of solute. So basically, because of presence of solute, the water potential is decreasing, right? So because of lowering due to the dissolution of solute is known as solute potential, right? So remember that solute potential will always be negative. It will always be negative. And the more solute molecules, lower will be the solute potential, right? So it will be more and more negative, right? So the more the solute will be present, the lower will be the solute potential. Now, say for a solution at atmospheric pressure, which is this, solute potential will be equal, right? So pressure can build up in a plant system when water enters a plant cell due to diffusion, causing a pressure which is built up against the cell wall. So basically, when the water rushes inside a plant cell, this happens due to diffusion. This happens because of the movement of water from higher kinetic energy to lower kinetic energy, right? So this pressure basically builds up against the cell wall, and this makes the cell turgid, and this turgidity increases the pressure potential as well. So remember now that the pressure potential will always be positive, right? Although in plants, negative potential or tension in the water column and xylem remember that it plays a major role in water transport up a stem, right? So basically, water potential is affected by both solute as well as pressure potential. And what is the relationship between them? So basically, your water potential will be equal to solute potential plus pressure potential. So you'll have to remember this, right? Now the next topic that we have to study is osmosis. So let's see what exactly is osmosis, right? So guys, basically osmosis means diffusion, okay? Diffusion of what? Here we are talking about plant water relations. So basically diffusion of water. Now, this diffusion happens across a semi-permeable membrane, right? So, osmosis is basically diffusion of water across a semi-permeable membrane, right? Now, how does it happen? So, basically, it occurs in response to a driving force. And what is that driving force? So, basically, it depends on again pressure and concentration gradient. How water will move and in which direction will it move? So it will move from region of higher chemical potential or concentration potential to the region of lower chemical potential. And the movement of water will happen until the equilibrium is reached. And what happens at equilibrium? Both the chamber from which it is moving to the chamber it is moving will have or same water potential, right? So basically, more the solute concentration, greater will be the pressure, and that is required to prevent from water from diffusing in. Okay, so if we talk about the osmotic pressure numerically, it is equivalent to the osmotic potential, but the sign will be negative. Remember that, right? So basically, osmotic pressure is the positive pressure applied while osmotic potential is negative. Okay. Now, the third topic that you have to study is plasmolysis. So basically, guys, what happens is that the behavior of plant cell. Okay, so the behavior of plant cell or say tissues with regard to water movement, that depends on the surrounding solution. So how the plant cell is going to behave with the movement of water, that depends what is the surrounding solution is, right? So basically, if the external solution, right, if the outside solution balances the osmotic pressure of the cytoplasm, it is known as isotonic. It is known as isotonic. Okay. The second one is that the external solution is more dilute than the cytoplasm. In that case, it is hypotonic, where the external solution is more dilute. Now, if the external solution is more concentrated, it will be hypertonic. It will be hypertonic, right? So, what will happen is basically if a cell is present in hypotonic solution, it will swell, right? And if the cell is present in hypertonic solution, it will shrink. Why will it shrink? So basically, what I mean to say is if you put a cell in a solution where the external solution is dilute, there will be a movement of water from outside to inside, which will cause the cell to swell, right? If it's just the opposite, that the external solution is more concentrated, the water present in this inside the cell will start moving out to balance the outer environment, right? And as it starts moving out, the cell will start to shrink, right? So basically, plasmolysis occurs when water moves out of the cell and the cell membrane of a plant cell, and it shrinks away from its cell wall, right? So basically, when the cell or tissue is placed in a solution that is hypertonic to the protoplasm, water moves out, right? And it is lost from the cytoplasm and then into the vacuole, right? When water is drawn out of the cell through diffusion into the extracellular fluid, causes the protoplasm to shrink away and the cell is said to be plasmolyzed. So if you see the diagram here, what you'll realize is that the water in the first case, A, right? The water is moving out. And since it is moving out, the cell is plasmolyzed. So basically here the cell is plasmolyzed, right? If it is balanced, nothing will happen. If it is moving inside, it will be turgid, right? Now, guys, remember that this process of plasmolysis is reversible, right? So basically, ulta, exact opposite will happen if the cell is placed in a hypotonic solution. So basically, the water potential will be higher. Water diffuses into the cell, causing the cytoplasm to build up the pressure, which is known as turgor pressure. And this pressure exerted by the protoplasm due to entry of water makes the cell rigid, right? Now let's see what the next topic is. So the next topic is imbibition. Now there is special type of diffusion when water is absorbed by solids, okay, or say colloids, causing them to enormously increase in volume. So imbibition is also diffusion since water movement is along a concentration gradient. So remember that, right? So basically, if you see the example of imbibition, the absorption of water by seed or dry wood, it is nothing but imbibition, right? So basically here, the pressure that is produced by swelling of wood has been used by, to split rocks, boulders, and so many things, right? So basically, imbibition is diffusion, and here what is happening is the water potential gradient between the absorbent and the liquid imbibed is essential for imbibition, right? So say for any substance to imbibe any liquid, affinity between the adsorbent and the liquid, that is the prerequisite. So, guys, with this, we have discussed various processes which happens in between plant and water. So, I hope you would have understood all of these small topics. Again, very important. You should understand the basics of how the water and the concentration and the pressure level inside the plant work together, right, for movement of water. So, guys, please do like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have any doubt, do not hesitate in messaging me. You can either message me or WhatsApp and ask your doubts. The WhatsApp number is given in the description of the video, or you can just drop your doubts in the comments for this video and I'll reply to that. And yes, guys, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and press the icon to get all the updates of regarding all the other videos that I'll be posting. Thanks, guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.